In 1843, a 27-year-old mathematician published a set of notes that included the first algorithm ever designed for a machine to process. She described in writing what we now call general-purpose computing, the idea that a computing machine could process not just numbers, but any symbolic operation that could be expressed logically. Music, language, logic itself. She saw it before the hardware existed to run it. Her name was Ada Lovelace, and I'm going to guess that when you think about who invented computing, her name is not the first one that comes to mind. That gap between what someone built and whose name we remember is what this Women's History Month is about. I'm Dr. Day Tetsubayashi. I'm a Black, queer, first-generation Togolese immigrant living with an invisible chronic illness, and I've spent 25 years building technology and advising organizations on AI governance. I have spent those 25 years watching women's contributions to AI and computing be minimized, overlooked, attributed to someone else, or simply not mentioned. I have also watched the women doing the most important AI safety work right now be discredited, defunded, and even fired, while the institutions that ignored them scramble to catch up with what they proved years ago. Let's go back to the beginning. Ada Lovelace didn't just write the first algorithm. She made a conceptual leap that Babbage himself hadn't made. She recognized that the machine could process more than numbers. She was describing, in 1843, what would take another century to build. Her contributions were minimized in her lifetime, attributed to Babbage in decades of subsequent history, only fully credited in the second half of the 20th century. And then only because a programming language developed by the U.S. Department of Defense was named after her, forcing historians to go back and look at what she had actually done. Grace Hopper created the first compiler in 1952. That's the program that translates human-readable code into machine language, the fundamental architecture of virtually every programming language that exists today. She coined the term debugging. She championed COBOL, which is still running core systems at banks and governments around the world. She was a rear admiral in the U.S. Navy, one of the most consequential engineers of the 20th century. Dorothy Vaughan, Katherine Johnson, Mary Jackson. Before NASA had electronic computers, they had human ones, mathematicians who calculated the trajectories and orbital mechanics of the space race. Many of them were Black women. When Dorothy Vaughan recognized that electronic computers were coming, she learned Fortran on her own, from a book she borrowed from the segregated public library. Then she taught it to her entire team. She managed the transition from human to electronic computing for the West Area Computing Unit at NASA. She was, functionally, the first IT manager at NASA. She did not receive that title. Margaret Hamilton's code put humans on the moon. She coined the term software engineering. She is known, today, for a photograph of herself standing next to a stack of printed code as tall as she is. This is the pattern. Women do foundational work. Their contributions are minimized at the time. A partial restoration happens years later, and the men who were in proximity to the work receive the primary credit. That pattern did not end in 1969. In 2016, Dr. Joy Buolamwini was a researcher at MIT when she discovered that facial recognition software couldn't detect her face until she put on a white mask. She coined the term the coded gaze. Her subsequent research, the landmark gender shade study, documented that commercial facial recognition systems had error rates of up to 34.7% for darker-skinned women, compared to under 1% for lighter-skinned men. She did all of this while fighting, continuously, the institutional reflex to minimize and discredit research that makes powerful institutions uncomfortable. Corporate executives publicly attempted to discredit her methodology. Dr. Timnit Gebru was co-lead of Google's ethical AI team. She was one of the most prominent AI ethics researchers in the world. She was fired in December 2020 after submitting a paper raising concerns about the risks of large language models. Google asked her to remove her name from the paper. She refused. She was fired. Over 2,600 Google employees signed a letter of protest. The paper she was fired over is now foundational reading in the field. Dr. Safiya Umoja Noble's Algorithms of Oppression documented how search engine results perpetuate racist and sexist stereotypes, and forced a reckoning with the idea that algorithms are neutral. They are not. Dr. Ruha Benjamin gave us the new Jim Code. Dr. Rediet Abebe has pushed the field to understand that fairness in AI cannot be separated from structural inequality. These choices are political, not technical. These names are known within the field. They are not, for most people outside it, the names that come to mind. The names that come to mind are Sam Altman, Elon Musk, Geoffrey Hinton. That's the erasure happening right now, in real time, while we watch. The same dynamics that erased women's contributions to history are operating inside your organization's AI governance right now. If concerns are being minimized or attributed to oversensitivity, you have a governance failure, not a diversity failure. Organizations that treat equity concerns as governance information catch bias early when it is correctable. Organizations that treat equity concerns as political noise catch bias late, in litigation or an EU AI Act enforcement action. This Women's History Month, I'm publishing a 4-part series, video and written, on what it looks like to actually reclaim our stories. The full article with sources is linked below and at drdayday.substack.com. If your organization is ready to move from awareness to accountability on AI governance, if you want to be the organization that catches the problem before it becomes a crisis, work with Dr. Dayday. Subscribe to my channel. Next up in the series, The Women Building What AI Can't Replicate. Subscribe, watch my TEDx talk, and subscribe to the newsletter at drdayday.substack.com.